What is up, guys? Welcome back to another Grand Tournament card review. So today I've taken a little bit of a different approach to it. I wasn't expecting all the cards that got announced at Gamescom to be announced so quickly. I guess we got a lot of cards the past few days. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go over them really quickly, and there's a whole lot of them. So I'm not gonna take the effort to like individually go over each one with a little sprite and everything on the side. I really that takes a lot of work to get everything like working and optimal with Premiere Pro, which is what I use to edit my videos. So I figured since there were so many this time that I would just go ahead and use Hearthstone's website. So first off, we have Darnassus Aspirant, Battlecry, gain an empty mana crystal, Death Rattle, destroy mana crystal. So I can see this being used with like an Iron Beak as just a quick synergy, because it has 3 health. It's not going to be picked off by 1-drops most likely anyways. You could probably see the Mirror Wrath come out, but either way, if it gets picked off, then you're at pretty much equal ground and you forced a really early removal that could be more useful for other things. And if you get to silence it, then you've gained a free mana crystal, and that just boosts your tempo. So it's I think it's pretty good. I think it gives you a nice body that you can use for either early removal or just to get rid of your 1-drops that you might need to get rid of. So it's pretty useful. Moving on to Wrathguard. Let me make sure we got everything. Yeah, we do. Okay. Wrathguard. So whenever this minion takes damage, also deal that amount to your hero. I think this is going to be really good, to be honest. Um, early game, having a 4/3 is just invaluable. It just really breaks out the tempo. I think this is going to be a staple in zoos, but I think after a certain point you're not going to want to see it. You're not going to want to play it. I think it's going to be kind of like you have one of them in your deck and you mulligan for it, because if you have two, it's just going to gimp your hand, especially if you're playing something like Warrior that has Shield Slam that you can end up taking 20 damage plus on. I mean, I could see it going really wrong very quickly, but it does have a lot of potential for zoo decks, and I'm pretty excited for it. Shadowpan Cavalry, I really don't have much of an opinion on. A 5-drop 6/7. I mean, I think that's pretty good. I think that, combo cards are always neat to see. Being a 5-drop combo means late game is probably where it's going to shine. Being a 6/7 late game, I think that that's okay, but it's not going to be able to take it. The only thing that I think is good about it, it's not in BGH range, but it's not going to be able to take out a lot of the late game threats that you see. So it might see some play, but I don't know. Moving on, we have Master of Ceremonies. So Battle Cry, if you have a minion with spell damage, gain +2/+2. So it'd be a 3-drop 6/4. I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. I think that you're gonna almost always get more value out of like a BGH, for example. Seeing is destroying a 7-drop straight out, or a 7 attack, or yeah, 7 attack minion at that point is probably going to be a little bit more useful than getting +2/+2 in stats. I still think that it's going to be used. I think it's going to be pretty valuable. I think it's a really good potential card as far as that stands. It has a lot of potential. I don't necessarily see it being used just in something right now, but it has potential. So possibly we might see it. I'm not sure. We have Crowd Favorite. Whenever you play a card with Battlecry, gain +1/+1. I think it might be okay. I think it might be okay. I don't have a lot of a lot of hope for this card, to be honest. I think a 4-drop 4/4 is vanilla, but it's not going to be super useful, I don't think. So moving on, we already went over Coliseum Manager. I might have went over Crowd Favorite, actually. Maybe not. We have Druid's Saber, so you can choose one charge or +1/+1 in stealth. So basically, it's just a situational card. You can either get basically just a 2/1 charge, or just a 2 or a 3/2 with stealth. So it's a 2-drop 2/1 charge or 3/2 stealth. So it's not great. It's not bad though. I think we could see some use out of it. Bash. I don't know. It's probably going to be used, honestly. It's not something that's like meta defining, so it's not something I'm having a crazy reaction to, but I think it's good enough. Brave Hunter, nope. Not even, no. Is not going to be used. Absolutely not. I mean, quick shot is going to be better than that by leaps and bounds, you know? So, I don't see it. Oh, we got announced that there's going to be a rank bonus. This is just a little bit of a tidbit that I thought was really cool, but there's going to be a bonus. So at the end of the ranked season, based on how well you did on the ladder, you actually get more in your chest that's like given to you at the end of the season. So like you get your new season card back, but you also get cards like golden cards and dust. So I think that's pretty cool. Just as an example, you get like this is an example one for someone who reaches rank 5, which is definitely easily possible if you really grind it out and get straight into the rank season, or you have a decent deck. You wouldn't even really need to grind much. Just getting down to there isn't too difficult. So you get this guy got 2 golden commons and a golden epic, 5 dust, and the card back. So I think that that's really cool. I think that that's just a really, really nice addition that encourages people to get into the constructed play. That's what a lot of games honestly overlook, is that when you get into the high level stuff, when you get into the ranked, it's like there's very, very small rewards for it, and it seems to go straight from 0 to 100, so to speak, as far as it starts out almost where you're not getting anything unless you get to the highest level and then you have a chance to go pro. Like there's nothing in between, and this gives something in between. It gives people something to work for, and I really, really do appreciate that. It gives a lot of just honestly appeal to the ranked modes of the game, and I really do like that. So I'm pretty happy about that. We also got Joust as a new function. So here's some new cards that got revealed at Gamescom. 13 cards at Gamescom, and more actually got revealed. We're going to go over in a minute, but this is pretty crazy. So Skeleton Knight, it's Death Rattle, reveal a minion in each deck. If yours costs more, return this card to your hand. So I think that that's pretty cool. It gives the aggro, like Joust is almost immediately combating aggro, which I didn't think they'd be able to come up with something that would totally kill aggro, and I don't think this is going to necessarily kill aggro, but it punishes people that have aggro playstyles, because aggro is almost completely promoted by low cost cards. And if you have a more filled out curve that's more, focused on the high end and the low end, like being a curve as opposed to just everything being a mountain on 1, 2, and 3 drops, with the occasional 4 drop, it's definitely very, very nice to see cards like this. With this mechanic is just fantastic. It makes it so you have a higher chance of being able to beat down aggro decks by getting the extra effect from Joust. So I really do like that. I think it could almost become a standard as a check to aggro decks. So Skeleton Knight alone, I don't think it's great. I think it is kind of susceptible to mid-game removal, but I think it's cool. I think its effect is awesome. And if you have a stall type of deck that has some decent taunts or decent ways to remove lots and lots of minions, then I think it could, if you can get it to stick out there for a couple turns, then you're definitely going to get value out of it. Edric the Pure, so change all enemy minions attack to 1. I heard a lot of people say equality is way better than this, and I tend to disagree with that actually, because at this point it's a utility that keeps your minions from being checked by your own cards. So if you have a lot of minions that you can use to remove the equality cards, then you're going to check yourself. You're going to be taking out your own minions, or at least making them more susceptible to removal by making them all have 1 health. But if you change your opponent's minions attack to 1, then you're just gimping them and making it so your minions can be used to remove your opponent's minions much easier. And they have more of a chance of surviving, is more what I'm getting at. So you can have high health minions that have a lot more value because of Edric, and I really do think that that's going to be a key point in its use in the meta. I really do like that card actually. It's a lot of it has a lot of potential. Argent Lance, another Joust card. If yours costs more, +1 durability. So it's a 2/2/2 with a potential to be a 2/2/3. Again, in a more filled out curve deck, this has potential to be value. And I really do like it. I think that it's really good. I think that it does somewhat combat aggro, again, which is really something I do like. And it's a low cost that fills out until you can either A, get your muster out and then you have your 1/4, or B, until you get your true silver out and you have your 4/2, which fills, again, very nicely until that can come out. So I really do like that. Armored Warhorse is another jouster. So it can gain charge as a 4-drop 5/3, which again, with a filled out curve, this is a little weird because it's more of an aggro type card, but it's a 5/3 with 4-drop. I mean, gaining charge is a pretty hefty thing that you got there. I do like it quite a lot. I don't have a lot else to say. I don't see where it's going to be used, but I just like it. Tuskar Jouster, so restore 7 health to your hero. This is not going to be used. It's just not. There's it's just not going to be used. There are too many better things. Well, maybe it will be used. Maybe it will be used. Actually, let me say that again. So with higher curve decks, you're going to be able to play it turn 5 or later if you need to. It restores 7 health, so it's 1 off of Healbot. So your mech synergy is the only thing, and the 1 extra health is the only thing you have going for you with Healbot, other than the stability of the pick. Because you're not always going to be getting the 7 health restored to your hero with Tuskar. But it's okay. It's okay. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. I think that it has potential. And it gives you a usable body, whereas with Healbot you're not necessarily getting that. So it's almost stability versus ability, because Healbot you don't have a lot of ability to use after it gets played, but Tuskar you do. So it's gonna kind of come down to preference, or yeah, preference. You want stability or you want ability. Master Jouster. So if this procs, you got some hefty value. Taunt Divine Shield, 6-drop 5/6. I like it. I like it quite a lot. I really do. I don't think that it's going to get played because I think that, honestly, having such a really heavy effect be on, like, contingent on having luck go your way, I think that that's probably going to give room for a lot of really trolly plays. Looking at you, Trollden. But, I think that it does have some potential. I just don't think that it's necessarily going to be consistent enough to be played. Like, whereas Argent Lance isn't going to totally gimp your turn if you don't get the extra durability, or Skeleton Knight might not gimp your turn by not being able to get it back in your hand. Okay? This would totally gimp your turn if you don't get the Taunt Divine Shield. It's still a playable body, but you're not getting the taunt that you most likely were relying on, and the Divine Shield that you're most likely relying on as well. So I don't like it too much. I don't like it as much as Tuskar, Argent Lance, or Skeleton Knight. Gadsden Jouster, reveal a minion in each deck if yours costs more, gain +1/+1. Basically, you get a possible 2/3 for 1. I think that that's pretty darn good. I think it's a great early game card for filled out curve decks, and this totally promotes the joust mechanic in a perfect way. It's really, really great. Mookla's Champion, it could be played. It's possible. I don't know for sure. I'm a little torn on it because it does leave itself susceptible to early game removal, being a 3 health minion, but I do think it has a lot of potential, especially if you play it turn 7 into something that you can use your hero power quickly. You could play it in a mage deck, so you have like a hero power mage deck, which we might actually see. I'm very excited to see if that actually happens. But then you get unlimited plays or unlimited hero powers afterwards, which would just totally boost up whatever you have on the field. I think that it has a lot of potential for some really trolly setups, but again, that's not consistent, so we might see the consistency from this. It has a lot of potential as being a consistent card, but I'm not sure yet. I'm not positive. I'm not totally sold on the idea, especially because it's got 3 health. Moving on, we have Ancestral Knowledge. I like the card. It's the card that Shaman really needed, just a tempo booster, honestly. I really do like it. There's not much else to say. It just boosts tempo, and that's what Shaman really, really, really needs. So it's nice to see that. Moving on, Bolster, we have Give Your Taunt Minions +2/+2. Has potential. I think what they're trying to do, and I really, really love this idea. It's really got me excited for this new expansion so much more than anything else, is that they're trying to push the traditional World of Warcraft uses for each class onto the card game. So, like, they're giving good taunt boosts and good taunt minions and possible taunts to Warrior, just making it more suited to its archetype that it usually is. I think that that is just fantastic. I think that it's going to be a lot of fun to see the meta kind of grasp onto the different types of minions that they're releasing and like sort of grasp back onto the roots that they had in World of Warcraft. I think that that is fantastic. Adding in like the lore and the actual use of the class from the game that it originated in, I think is absolutely fantastic, and I'm very excited to see it be used in the actual meta in the game competitively. So very, very excited for that. Just that card in general just kind of brought the idea together for me, and I'm very excited for it. Burgle, nope. Just nope. There's at least when you have like Thought Steal, for example, you're getting a card that your opponent knows is good, or at least thinks is good. Burgle, you could get garbage. I think that it has potential, but I just don't like it very much. I just don't. There's too much reliance on it having good RNG, and there's such a heavy potential that it doesn't. So I'm a little concerned about it. Injured Cavalder, I don't think that this is going to be very good. I think that the dream is getting two of these, and a on your coin on your going second hand is getting two of these, and a Circle of Healing. I mean, that would almost instantly win you the game with the unimaginable tempo you're going to get from it, but I don't really like it otherwise. Otherwise, it's just a 1-drop 2/1, and we have better versions of that. I mean, Leper Gnome, for example. So I think it has potential, but I don't think it's going to be played competitively. It might be okay in Arena. I can think of it being a good interchangeable 1-drop in Arena, but that's really it. And Gormok the Impaler, if you have at least 4 other minions, deal 4 damage. It has potential. That's all I'm going to say. I really don't see this being used very much. Moving on, we have the... Is this the last two? No, it's not. I lied. Okay, we have Anubarak and Aviana. So, Anub, Death Rattle, return this card to your hand and summon a 4/4 Nerubian. So it's a 9-drop, which means that it's really, really relying on late game. And I don't like that very much. The thing is that it has 4 health, so it's susceptible to even 3 drops, honestly. And late game removal, as far as that's concerned, is just going to stomp on it, but you're never ever going to be in a place where you don't have something to play the next turn unless it gets silenced. And that's something I think is good, but I don't think it's good enough to warrant it having 4 health. I mean, that's pretty terrible in all honesty. Next up, we have Aviana. Your minions cost 1. I think this is going to be really great, guys. I really do. It's going to make it so late game stall decks are absolutely viable as far as that goes. We're going to be seeing a lot of Thaurissan combos come out with this because it's going to bring it down to 8. On turn 10, you can play 2 cards for 1, and that is going to be fantastic. You're going to see some crazy stuff happen, I guarantee it. This is going to be one of the combo pieces out of this particular expansion. I am so excited to see how this works. Really, really I am. I think that it's going to be a lot of fun just seeing how some of the synergies work with this expansion, and this in particular just opens up so many possibilities. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm very excited for it. Being a 5/5, I don't think that's even relevant because its effect is so powerful that you're going to be able to use it if you have Thaurissan dropped, which by turn 9 or 10, or even turn, I guess, 7 or 8, if you got the early game curve that you needed to fill out with like Wild Growth, and then the other card that adds another mana crystal to you, like silence that. I think that that's going to be really, really nice, and it's going to be a lot of fun to see what comes out of it. We have Grand Crusader, just recently got released. Add a battle cry, add a random paladin card to your hand. Meh. Just meh. It's just I don't like it. And then we have Confuse, which also got released today. So swap the attack and health of all minions. I think, again, we are going to see some disgusting combos come out with this. Confuse just adds another card that's able to switch the attack and health of all minions, or a minion that in particular just got boosted to have 16, 18, 20 plus health, and then just suddenly wham, you know, you're taking tons of damage, an absolutely ridiculous amount of damage. And I think that it has a lot of potential being only a 2-drop, meaning that later in the game you can use it as a combo piece, and I really do like that. It has a lot of potential, and I'm excited to see what comes of it. So there are some very exciting cards, as you can see. That's all that we have for right now, but I'm going to be coming out with more videos again. You guys know this by now. As soon as we see more cards, so like 6 or 8 more cards come out, you'll see a new video. I did not want to wait this long again, and this is a pretty long video, I think, at this point. Yeah, just over 20 minutes, so I apologize for that. But I waited a couple days, and then suddenly Gamescom happened, and 15 cards got announced, so yeah, that was not expected. I kind of like got on the internet and there was everything just dropped at once, and it was kind of amazing, and I was like, wait a second, I haven't made a video going over the past few cards, and now I have to go over all of these. So sorry about that, but hopefully you guys understand. Nobody was really expecting that many releases all at once, so you know, it happens. It definitely happens. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next video. Hope you're enjoying my other series. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, drop them below. Any opinions on these new cards, maybe stuff I'm overlooking, I'd be happy to address that in future videos, so please feel free to point them out. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next video. Have a fantastic day. Until then, peace.